Hi everyone, I'm Michael, and welcome to Back Alley Bonsai. It has been a minute since I've made a video. I have been a little under the weather. I did unfortunately have a mild case of COVID about a month ago, and it really just kind of sucked everything out of me. Between that and bad weather and a lot of construction noise, it's really not been conducive to making any videos. But you know what? I got some time today. I'm feeling pretty good. And so I'm going to go ahead and work on this Ficus Benjamina, which is kind of a fantasy-shaped tree. It's one that I've had in my collection for a while. It's got this one very long branch that I'm going to continue to grow out in this direction and ultimately, hopefully, get it into kind of a very, really sharp C shape. So that's what we're going to be working on today on Back Alley Bonsai. So the first thing, I've actually had this tree growing in this basket pot for the last year. I put it in here in springtime of last year, and you can see that it has really just grown through the pot, which is really good. It's actually what I wanted to see. So what I'm going to do now is start off by just clipping back as many of these roots as I can, because I don't really want them wrapping around, and I don't really want these really long roots. What I wanted to do is essentially make it easy for me to clip them back and promote better root branching inside the pot to hopefully get a more robust growth for next year. I'm going to leave it in the pot for another year. We can see this one root which has gone all the way around. And these roots are actually all really healthy, which I'm glad of. You know, these Ficus Benjaminas will survive, or their roots will survive in an air environment quite well. Like you can see on this one right here, you can see the nice growing tip on it. It's alive. So this is all really good stuff. It's a root that's tucked back in on itself. We'll just tuck that back. A couple of these roots have grown out of the basket and then back into the basket. And let's see what we got going on at the bottom. Not much there at all. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is try and take a better look at the structure of these branches. So I'm going to do a couple of different things. I'm going to remove this bit of twine that I've been using to manipulate this branch, redo it. It is starting to bind in a little bit here at the base of the tree, so I don't really want that. Pretty tight. We'll just cut that away for now, and then cut that off. And there we go. Fortunately with the twine, I find that I don't get the same kind of real scarring that I would get with wire. It's a little bit of a bulge in there, but it's not as pronounced. So the next thing is to actually just go through and defoliate this tree. I'm just going to put you on hyperlapse while I do it. This is going to be a really slow process, and there's no rushing it. And once we get back to the bare bones of the tree, then we'll take a look at it and make some decisions. And the last one there. Now, by removing all of the leaves from the tree, I can get a better idea of what's going on with the branch structure. With these ficuses, they'll bounce back, and we can see it's actually already, it's January, and it's already about ready to pop out a whole new set of leaves anyway, so I haven't really set the tree back in any meaningful way. But we can start to take a look at it and see what's going on structure-wise. So things that I want to try and continue to work on in the future is this particular branch. I want to continue to bring out very long, and so I get this a little bit framed up a little bit better. But this branch here, I want this to continue to grow out very, very long, and have this actually be my dominant branch. And we can see we've got this branch which is coming off back here, and it's very strong, probably stronger than I'd like it to be. We've got this branch as well that's also taking off as a very strong dominant branch. There is another branch back here, which is a little bit lower down, which I like, but it's growing kind of towards the back of the overall structure of the tree. So it's not doing too much, but it's also pretty much proportional with what I would like to see on the rest of the tree. So if I were to look at it like that, we can see it's not a very good taper on it, but we can see that this branch is in proportion with this one. But then if we start looking at these ones, we can see that there's not a tremendous amount of thickness difference between this one and this one and this one, and none of them is really the dominant branch. And then we have kind of classic problems of some branches that are just crossing over the main structure of the tree and growing in kind of oddball directions, which aren't really what I want. So I definitely have some decisions that I need to make on this tree. So I think I'm going to start off with just this one right here, which is way too strong for where it is. And I'm going to come in here with my angle cutters, and I'm going to take that off right there. And I think really I want to actually take this whole branch back to there. I've got this little branch here which is coming towards the viewer, but it's crossing over the main branch. I don't really want that, so I'm going to take that off as well. There we go. Moving over to this one, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. It's first off just getting way too big, and like this branch here is really long and straight and much more than I really want it to be. And then this branch is way too strong for where it is. I want this branch to be slightly weaker than this. So I'm going to start by I'm going to take it off to right here. And this one, I'm going to cut it all the way back to here. And that should allow all of these to kind of take over. Okay. So the next one here to worry about is what's going on with these two branches. We've got this one here, which is interfering with the other secondary branch. And I think what I'm going to do... Now, the problem with these Ficus Benjaminas is if you cut them back, they usually don't do anything. If there's no greenery or anything, you're just going to get a stub. And it's not going to grow. So you almost might be better off just taking it off completely. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this off totally right to there. And then this one I'm going to cut back to, there's a little branch forming right here. So I'm going to cut back to right there and hopefully get that to develop. And then this one I'm going to cut back shorter to there. And now looking at this branch, again, it's just very long. So I'm going to take it back to here, I think. Yeah. This one here is nice, but it's starting to kind of grow backwards a bit. So I am going to take this one off to here. And that gets us back around to our main branch. So we've got some interference going on with it. We've got this one here, which is just sort of disappearing behind it. So I'm going to take that off. And I don't really want this one branch that's shooting straight up. So I'm going to shorten it so we can get some better lateral movement out of it. Okay. And I think that may be it for now. It's got good sort of back and forth growth. This is a dead stump. This is kind of what I was talking about right here, where if you cut it back, sometimes they just don't do anything. Now, that's pretty common in these Ficus Benjaminas. And I think that's going to be all the structural work on this tree for today. So the very last thing that I'm actually going to do on this tree is I'm going to remove a little bit of this topsoil. You can see a lot of this is very dark and fine and organic. This is actually a result of the fertilizer that I use. I use mostly a composition of worm castings for this. And so it tends to wind up with this really rich topsoil layer, which is not bad. But I do want to sort of refresh the soil, get some more of this nice bonsai soil on the top of it again. So I'm just going to rake away at a bunch of this. And see what's going on with these roots. See how far down this organic soil has penetrated. I really just kind of want to remove a couple of inches. If that. We'll see. There's that construction noise that I was talking about. Not much I can do about it. Go over and beg them politely not to do construction. We'll see how far that gets me. Okay, so what we can see here, we can see a whole lot of nice feeder roots. These are exactly what we want to see, but we do have a few longer ones. I'm going to kind of cut back. And most of them are actually pretty healthy. Back over here. And pretty much what I want to see. We've got a couple of them that are getting a little bit thick and potatoey, and this will sometimes happen on these Ficus Benjaminas. You get these really thick potato roots, crossing roots, go in weird directions, which we don't really want. Let's take all of that off. Put that away. This one as well. Flip that one back. I want to get roots out of this area, but I don't want them to be overpowering. Same thing with this knob right here. This is a holdover from a previous root pruning, so I'm going to just take that off completely. See if I can't get some better looking roots under it by removing it all together. And the trick to doing that is just to take the roots that exist and kind of comb them outwards and away from each other so that they're not tucked under one another too badly. Like, for example, this one's got a lot going on with it. So I could theoretically take this off right there and just remove all of that. And then allow this root here to sort of take over. Cool. Okay. So now I'm just going to get a little bit of my bonsai soil here and top that off. Well, there you go, everybody. That is the January work on my Ficus Benjamina. We'll give you a quick turnaround of the tree. Looking forward to seeing how this tree develops over the course of 2022. I'm pretty excited about this particular tree. I may wind up twining this down. We'll see how it develops over the course of the next year. The front of it is somewhere around there-ish. Something like that. And of course, everybody, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Let your friends know. Leave your comments down below. I love answering questions about any of these particular trees. And as always, have yourselves a wonderful day.